Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering a black web series that's featured on YouTube right now and Tubi, A Single Taken Other. This is Season 2, Episode 2. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video in support of me, and you can subscribe if you are new. And get into them comments and let me know what you think of this episode and my review. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Okay, we start the episode off with Ahmad and Taryn. It looks like they vibing, things are going great. She's cooking, he's eating it, all that good stuff. They vibing on the basketball court. We see that Taryn, she's got the Meg Thee Stallion knees and she's really getting down low. They're going shopping together. They're able to sit down on the couch and do their laptop stuff together. And all I can think about is that Bobby and Whitney song, "We Have Something in Common." Should I not have said that? Should I leave Bobby and Wade out of this conversation? I don't know. All right, so Taryn has her inner monologue. I don't know if that's what you call it, but she says that, things are going great between her and Ahmad. Sex is still off the table. Is it off the table or nobody's mentioning it as of now? Catch that. All right, so we're now at Flare Magazine. Flare Magazine has gotten an upgrade. Come on, Season 2, upgrade. After the interview that they did with Genesis, everything is just booming and they're in a better place. And we're even getting new hires and promotions. Monica, she has been promoted from staff writer to fashion editor. Taryn, who sounds like a hater but says that she's not a hater, I really do think that she is, in my humble opinion, because how she ends up later on this episode responding to Monica. Yeah, so she got the position that Taryn wanted. But remember last season, they were in this competition on when I think this was for that same position or for something else, or a chance to write the article on Genesis. I think that's what that was. Yeah, but anyway, I know it seems like I'm hating on Monica. You are. I think you are. But I'm not mad at her. She said that she's mad that at every turn, Joan can't see her worth. All right, so Joan has called all the staff into a meeting. We're going to meet the new hires. They're preparing for the next magazine issue. It's typically the largest of the year. Monica is executing what she is expecting from her staff. The new hires that have been hired. Connie Nichols, she is the fashion shoot producer. Mercedes John is the new writer that's replacing Monica. Taryn, she will be in charge of training Mercedes. Taryn, in her inner monologue, is stating, "So, I can train them, but I can't lead them." Well, training and leading is kind of the same thing. They're cousins to each other, or brothers and sisters, or half siblings, if you want to say that. But yeah, it's in the same league. It's just a different position and different function, and a different pay grade. Because you basically doing stuff for free, and you're training people to do your job, even though they do have you and they're fulfilling Monica's position. Also, if you think about it, right now business is booming. Is there a time during the season that it's not booming and then they got to cut back? Will seniority trump over the new hires? Some of the stuff I'll be thinking about. Anyway, so after they get done with the meeting, Taryn wants to talk with Joan, and she just asks, why do I keep getting passed over for every position? Joan explains that you wrote a great article, but the visuals are lacking. And she showed what Monica actually turned in versus what Taryn had turned in. And she says, well, Monica was able to write a great article, show some great visuals, and connect with the consumer. You didn't. And she said, you have the potential, but promotions are earned. When I see more, I'll give you more. I think that that's a fair assessment, Taryn, even though you don't like it. And I think that you need to step up. You wrote a great article, but I have a feeling that it comes easy to you. And you don't push yourself to really do more than what you can do, especially if you want a promotion. I think Monica did that. Because wasn't she kind of not up to par before this time for promotion and all that stuff? Because I remember you were trying to get her together when she and Nick fell out last season. So I think Monica stepped up. And this isn't to knock you down, but you're lazy. Good writer. You're lazy to the point to not rising to the occasion, especially if you want to be seen. And she said, if you want to be like the editor-in-chief, you know, you got to show me a whole lot more than what you're showing me. All right, so in the office still, Monica receives an urgent email from Joan needing updates. It's like 4 different things that she needs to be updated on. And she's getting overwhelmed, but at the same time, Nick is messaging her. Where you been at? I ain't seen you in a minute. And then all of a sudden, Paul pops out of nowhere and startles her. And he asks, you know, are you okay? And she covers by saying it's just stressed with all of the deadlines that I have to meet, that Joan is sending me emails, da-da-da-da-da. Paul comforts her and says that, hey, I got you if you need help. Well, Monica suggests that they sneak away and have a little afternoon delight. And Paul was like, no, I think it's best that we remain professional in the office. None of this other stuff. I mean, Monica, you just got the position. You want to risk it all to blow off some stress after getting a message from your real boo? Interesting. But he said the silver lining is that you have me outside of this job. And then in Monica's brain, as what I'm thinking of her saying is boring. Over it. Anyways, we depart from there and we go to Royce's office. There's a Tinkerbot's marketing pitch layout that's due in 2 weeks that needs to be presented to their boss. He's going down he's having a rundown with all the other people that are within his group, which is 2 other people, and then there's Kyle. The hater Kyle. When Royce gets to the point where he's saying, you know, I'm going to present. When Royce gets to the part where he's saying that I'm going to present it to their boss, da-da-da-da-da. I think it's Mr. Campbell is his name. Yeah. Kyle sends a text to him and says, you know, I'll present to Mr. Campbell. Royce tries to ignore it and still go on with his speech on what he's going to be doing. And he said, well, I can then Kyle presents it with another message saying, I can present him something else if you want me to. And then we see the photo of him making out with Joy in the office, who is the daughter of Mr. Campbell, their boss. So the next thing Royce does is just say, matter of fact, Kyle is going to present the presentation. And these very perceptive other co-workers and group members are saying, what? Why would he do this? He hasn't even said 2 words during this project. Then Kyle's going to say, because I'm a central member of the success of this team. Bitch ass Negro. I said, what? Kyle. Well, them group members are better than me. I'm not saying that I would want to get ratchet, but I wouldn't sit there and take it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Because and they said, but you haven't said 2 words in this meeting. And then Royce says that by covering for Kyle and making up something, that Kyle does a lot of work behind the scenes. Well, what? We don't know. And he thinks that he deserves an opportunity to showcase his skills. As he sits there all doughy-eyed and cheesing. Crazy dude. One of the other co-workers says, just don't mess this up. And he says, who, me? Joy comes in after the other folks leave, and she sees that her man is stressed, but he says that everything will be okay. Kara, she goes to her office and she receives the mail. And the first thing she reads out loud, that she has to vacate the premises. It says, to whom it may concern, a property intended for public use. Basically, her building is being torn down because now the city/county has taken over that location and that property, and you have to vacate. And it's signed, sincerely, Commissioner Tamara Jackson. Now, hopefully you know where I'm going. Commissioner Tamara Jackson, who met with Kara at the alumni 40 by 40 or 40, the alumni gala. She knows her by name. But then you're going to put in this letter, to whom it concerns? Like you don't know me, girl? We'll get into her a little bit more. The ladies are having a girls' night in. They're all in their pajamas. and they notice that Monica has spruced up her place a little bit. They are trying to find different movies to watch. It's usually bad movie night. Now, y'all mentioned Love Don't Cost a Thing. That's a good movie, y'all. I know it doesn't seem like it, but that's a good movie. Yeah. Kara also mentions now that she's having a hard time with the long distance with Gary. Whenever they try to have some time together, one will call the other, and they're tired, and vice versa. So they're giving advice. Taryn has agreed to not be so judgy towards her friends, and says, you got to be more intentional. Set some time schedules, and then Brittany says, and other things. Have some sexy time. Thank God for FaceTime these days, in this age. You have to make the necessary sacrifices if you want to make this relationship work. She does take that all in consideration. She says that Gary is coming home for my birthday. Now, writers, please tell me, please, that you have not made it so that Gary does not show up for her birthday. Please. I'm team Gary and Kara. Come on, please. Brittany, to Taryn, she says, and how are you and Dummy? Lord. And then Kara decides to dump on that too. The dumb did it, or whatever she said. Dumb. Basically. Taryn doesn't really feed into it, which I thought that she would. She says that Ahmad and her are fine. That's my boo. And they leave it at that. There's no real cross-examination, which I found interesting because they do treat Monica differently, in my opinion. Where is it at? Well, they try to get Monica's attention because while all the other ladies are talking, she's scrolling Instagram through Nick's stories. And they finally get her attention, and she just says, she says something about her job. And then she wants to ask a hypothetical question that we basically know it's about her. If a person is not posting anyone, they are single, right? And they were like, it depends on the person, definitely. And Brittany says, look, a ninja will lie. You can ask them straight up on what you're doing, and they'll still lie. So it just depends on the person, depends on what y'all want to do. They encouraged her because they think it's about Paul. Go on and post you and Paul. But she's talking about Nick. She's trying to figure out, after getting closure, if Nick is seeing someone. Okay, Monica. I guess I'm judging. Then they start asking more questions about her and Paul, like how are things going between them. She says, I like him, but it feels like something is missing. Tara goes into her inner monologue and says, not this girl already trying to sabotage a good relationship. She said, wait, I'm judging. I caught that. I heard that. However, Taryn, I would be on that same wavelength. So you, me, the same. So we just two judges around here. Sorry, I would have been. But anyways, they ask, how does Paul treat you? She says, okay. I'm just bored. I like him. I enjoy his company, but it also feels so blah. Taryn says, again in her inner monologue, how do you have everything you want in a man and it's still not enough? And then she said, ooh, pot meets kettle. It sounds like you're in a healthy relationship and you miss the drama. This is what Taryn says. And someone said maybe there's a lack of chemistry. And it also sounds like he likes you more than you like him. Then Monica says that maybe we need a little bit more time to settle into the relationship. But if he was boring when y'all was just in the talking stage, how is it supposed to get better after you committed? Like, if he was boring then, that's no. That's just backwards, y'all. That's backwards. Whew. Anyways, Taryn says, don't write him off a good man until you actually had a chance to explore it. Chemistry can grow. I believe that, and everyone has this Ayanna Van Zant moment and this Sela moment. Said you really ate that, Taryn, and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Royce is scrolling his own Instagram and noticing on one of the ladies' pages that they're having a girls' night in. And of course, he sees Brittany and everyone that's tagged in the picture. Brittany is tagged in it, however, he's blocked from her. Now, Joy stops by. She brings him over something to eat. She wanted to cheer up Royce because she saw how Royce was feeling while at the office. Back at Flair magazine, Mercedes asks for help in order to setting up a storyboard. Taryn shows her, and after showing her, she says that this looks archaic. And instantly, Taryn gets this look on her face, and her inner monologue says, "So?" Mercedes says her old job had way more advanced programming. And then one of the other girls that was there asked where she worked at. She used to work at Icons. And the other girl said, well, that's like the Chick-fil-A of magazines. And why would you leave there? She said that she left for a change in atmosphere. All right, let's put the red flag up, y'all. Don't nobody reduce it. It's not a knockdown to a Flair magazine, but look. Are you choosing Ruth's Steakhouse or Purdue Chicken from Publix? Okay, thank you. Or Ruth's Steakhouse or Sonic's? What do you want? Monica comes and she's just asking Mercedes how things are going, and Mercedes says, pretty good. She then announces to Taryn that she needs her article, and Taryn says that, I got you, girl. You know I work slow. And Monica says, seriously, the deadline is tonight. And then there's this attitude. Taryn says, okay, I got it. I thought, ooh. So Monica is exerting authority. I don't know if you were actually late on projects or not, Taryn, but it sounds like you get it in when you get it in. I'm not saying that you're not. I just don't know. I don't remember your history, at least in season 1. But there's familiarity right there because you couldn't really respect. You wanted to be in this comfortable space with Monica. I don't think Monica is taking her job too seriously. However, Monica does have a new weight of responsibilities, and she's in charge of all of you all, and everything's reflected on her if someone comes up short. And to see you still want to have that type of comfortable friendship relationship, it's not gonna work. So that's why y'all gonna clash each and every time. Where are we at? All right, so with Brittany and one of her other not assistants, but co-workers in this photo shoot, along with Connie. That's the one that was the new hire that's over the whole photo shoot layout. The guy shows what he has presented for the new layout, and then Brittany shows what she's got. Now, the guy passed with all flying colors. Brittany shows what she has, which she found that is in and trendy. Connie says that it's too soft and we need to be edgier. And Brittany tries to rebut, like, hey, well, this is what's really trending. Connie cuts her off. I said, oh, okay. Now, it could be a thing that, okay, we got to learn each other, new and all that good stuff. But I do find it quite suspect. I'm just putting this on the table. I don't know where the story is going to. But, Connie, you had no objections. You had no notes for when that guy presented what he needed to present. But you immediately shut down Brittany. Like, it's my way or the highway. Yes, you are the one that makes all of the definitive the decisions and all that per Joan's approval, but it just seems like you didn't want to hear her out. And that could be a problem. So I don't know if this has anything to do with a woman-to-woman type of situation going on. I don't know. But I'm interested to see where this storyline goes. Let's see. So Kara, she goes and visits Mrs. Jackson. And Kara just jumps to what she needs to talk about. Why is my organization, a staple in the community, which provides food services and otherwise, is being torn down and demolished to lay down grass and a few benches? I laugh at that. But she got down to the nitty gritty. Like, I'm up here and you trying to give some dirt and grass? What is that? Oh, that was funny. Kara says that we were placed here for a reason. It's a central location and we can't just pick up and go anywhere. And I think that that's true. Can't you build your park somewhere else? Ms. Jackson says, absolutely not. Okay. That's it? Yeah. So you're just shutting down the help that's being aided to people? Ms. Jackson says, no, we're not shutting down. We are just requiring a change in your location. Kara tried to get into, okay, well, you were acting like you were helping me and all of this stuff, and now you knew this was happening. Now, we'll get into that in just a few minutes as to how I think things should run if the city and the county are going to be making some major changes to a town or city. Ms. Jackson says, once fair compensation is negotiations are reached, you'll have what you need to find a new location. And then she says, is that all? Yeah. Sister to sister. She was making a lot of different type of, I don't want to say jazz, but like, how you just gonna do that? Y'all played on my top all this time. But Kara goes on and calls Gary, venting. And I said that he really can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Meaning this, not insulting his intelligence, but he's not able to multitask at this moment. He's trying to listen to Kara, but also he's outside tending to some children. So he's not really focused on Kara. So eventually there's some emergency and he's pulled away and can't really speak with her anymore. Kara calls her mother and she rants. Her mom resonated that it sounds like all the other times that the government has taken property for public use while simultaneously destroying black communities. And I said, wow. They tore down Overton to build I-95. I'm not familiar too much with the Miami-Dade and the Broward County. I know a few places, but I'm more in the Palm Beach County area. But the mom also talks about Seneca Village in New York. They ended up just tearing that down to put in Central Park. I think, I don't know the right term and I could be wrong, isn't this just another form of gentrification? However, I do feel like the county and city put the cart before the horse. Meaning they made something done and did not even alert Kara beforehand. Because normally what I do know is that you are invited to town hall meetings or city meetings of when these decisions are being made. You're at least able to object and to state your case. Now, it's still the board members that decide, but to just give me a eviction notice and you never notified me before, that's not right. And what Ms. Jackson said that they're going to do, they're not just going to have a park, there's going to be a wellness center. So it looks like y'all trying to profit while Kara's trying to provide aid. And you think that your park is more important. Yeah, because it's going to put some more funds in your account. Shame, shame, shame. But it's happening everywhere. Anyways, mom says that you're going to need a lawyer. And she said that she and her dad will see what they can, see if they can find some help for her. Okay, so we're now at church. Taryn is volunteering in a women's group, and allegedly she is not running to this women's group to avoid Bible study. Okay. And what I mean by avoiding Bible study, she doesn't want to see Josh, since she did drop the ball in that type of, in trying to get a relationship started with him. So the women are packing boxes to get Bibles to local shelters. Taryn meets a new lady that has just joined. Her name is Zara. Her boyfriend encouraged her to come to the women's group. And Taryn was like, oh, well, my boyfriend is at home playing video games. And Zara said, oh, he doesn't like to serve? Taryn says, yes. And her inner monologue comes out and says, I really don't know, because I never asked him. While dating and reconnecting, she has not dug deeper into his faith. So you got Monica, who's not asking Nick, do you have somebody? But we got closure, but I just swung open that door again. And we got Taryn just going along with this whatever relationship. You already called him your boo, your boyfriend, and your faith is important to you. And you didn't ask him what's going on with his faith, for real, besides his mention of God. Interesting, Taryn. Maybe I'm judging. All right, so Monica's at home and she's doing some things on her laptop. Paul calls her and asks if she's still coming. She says no, she still has some articles to review, da-da-da-da-da. And Paul said that he understood. Do what you need to do, and to also get some rest. Now, Paul, she's gonna get some rest. All right, just hold on for a few more minutes. So back at Taryn's home, Ahmad has brought food that he bought for the both of them. He says that he has gotten Taryn's favorite food or favorite meal. Taryn opens it up, and there's cheese on it, and she says, "What are you doing?" "I don't like cheese." And he says, "Just take it off. It ain't gonna kill you." And then her inner Taryn came out again and said, "Did this ninja just dismiss me?" Yeah, he did. But she said, "You know what? I'm not gonna let that ruin the night. It's probably just an oversight. But he told you to just get over it." As I paraphrase. Okay. Taryn goes over to the couch and sits down with the meal. He's sitting there relaxed, and Taryn's sitting more forward, and he's saying, "See, look at you being a big girl." Ahmad, you are skating on thin ice. I found that to be condescending. What about y'all? That's what I thought. That's what I thought, at least. Like, what? And then that pisses her off more, but she doesn't say anything. She's just cold. He asks, "Are you mad?" "I didn't mean to upset you. I didn't know that it was going to be a big deal." And then Taryn says, "It's fine. Rule number 1. When a woman says it's fine, it's not fine at all. It's not fine, y'all." Ahmad, sleep with one eye open. Anyways, Ahmad is able to pivot. He ends up putting her in his lap and starts to kiss him. Now, let me point this out. Men and women alike, they will use this strategy a lot of times to change the mood, to change the tone, and to escape accountability. They'll put sex in front of you to distract you and hopefully to calm you down so you can forget what you were even mad about. I'm just putting that out there right now. But anyways, he starts to kiss her, and Taryn says no. And he's like, "Well, what's the problem? Is there a 90-day rule that you're on?" Taryn says no. But really on the inside, Taryn is at the point of really wanting to crumble. But she's trying to remain strong. So she tells him, "No, I just don't want to do anything to cloud my judgment." He says, "It's not like we haven't done this before in college. We're grown. And I just want to show you how much I appreciate you." "Well, then why did you order her favorite and put something that she hates on it? And then you told her to get over it. And you told her that she was being a good girl." Okay. So then Taryn says, and within herself, like, "Ooh, I better get up." So she tries to get up, but Ahmad just pulls her right in, and she gives in. She just was basically Mariah Carey. "I give my all for one night to be with you." So remember that rest I was talking about that Monica was going to get? She's laid up with Nick after ditching Paul because of work. Okay. Nick all of a sudden gets a phone call, and he leaves the room. At this point, Monica is waking up and moving within the bed, and Nick comes back and says, "An emergency, I gotta go. My friend, he got into an accident, and you gotta go." And she's like, "Oh, okay," quite confused. He's pushing her out the door. She's like, "Well, let me know what happens." He's like, "Okay," and then he shuts the door. Monica goes to her car, and as she's just getting in, she's just trying to figure out, well, what just happened here? Like, huh? Well, she only sat there for a second. Next thing you know, a car pulls up. A woman gets out and goes to Nick's door. So, Monica, you have your answer. Posting or not, Nick got a woman. I got a woman way over town, and she's so good to me. Ray Charles. Just listen to our sponsors here.
Nick been trash. We tried to save her from this.
You put your trust in a nigga. Stupid hoe, how you figure?
So we done had T.S. Madison and Taryn say what we already knew. Monica. Pray for Monica. Also pray for Taryn. Cara too. Brittany, she chilling, but in the next episode, that's all I gotta say. But I do appreciate everyone for coming. Like this video, you can subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Until the next one, peace.